Hi, welcome to ex-Jw's with me, Noob, V, and our special guest today, we are interviewing Lee Wainwright. Say hi, Lee.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Very well, thanks.
Thanks for doing this for the first time ever in your entire life.
Oh yes, this is the first. It's really exciting.
I think we should come clean and just say we had some issues, trying to do this interview. So this is a kind of our third attempt, but this is third time's a charm. Is that the saying? Is that how it goes?
That's unlucky, no?
Yeah.
Don't believe in luck. That's bad.
Lee, you have just written a book, and this I believe this is your first book. What is it called?
What's it called? Cain and His Thorns.
Cain and His Thorns.
Yes, it's lifted from Dante's Inferno, Canto 20, which mentions Cain and his thorns in Seville, which is where the book's set.
Oh, fantastic. And we're talking about Dante. I can never pronounce this last name. Allegri.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, I thought he was going to help
Alan. Dante Allen.
Alan.
Dante.
Alan.
Us lazy English people. What are we like? So Cain and His Thorns. I finished reading it last week, and I couldn't put it down. I thought it was such a good read.
Thank you.
V, I think you read it as well
I read
week.
it. It spoiled my week because I couldn't put it down as well.
Did you nearly get fired from work?
Kind of. But what I do like about it, let me just add, is that being an ex-JW and the fact that it's set with that tone in the background, I could I could relate to a lot of stuff.
Well, okay,
so that makes me a bad person or not, I don't know.
Okay, okay. This is it. This is why you're on the show, Lee. This is why you're with us. Tell us a little. So V's already said that it's got ex-JW kind of connotations attached to it, but tell us about the book. What is it about?
Well, it's about a guy who gets disfellowshipped from the Jehovah's Witnesses, and it follows the after effects of that really for about a year. How he feels about it, what effect it has on him with his relationships with his family and his friends, and the things he does to cope with the loss of those things, but essentially he feels liberated,
It's quite a story. It's quite a roller coaster. The main guy, he's called Pierre. Tell us a little bit about him. How did you come up with this guy?
Yeah, so Pierre's loosely based on me. The name is an allusion to the main character in War and Peace, who he also goes on a spiritual quest. In his case, he goes from being non-religious to trying Masons in his case. But this is anyway. Similarly, Pierre tries to find truth, really, and he finds it in unexpected places, I suppose.
Pierre is he's the main character, but he is so relatable, and in fact, he is just my favourite character because he's just such a nitty gritty, filthy person. Really, he's just really funny. And
thanks, mate.
And I think it's kind of good because he just has that kind of boyish charm, that sort of mannish. We're all thinking it, but we don't say it, and he's just one of those guys that just thinks just like we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, he thinks if I'm going to bother writing my book, my history, I may as well be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have him crapping and all sorts of stuff,
All sorts of stuff. I think it was described as 50 Shades for Men at one.
Yes, and scatological. But that's my description, which means to do with crapping. No, I like that one. 50 Shades for Men. Yes, this is yeah, this is for men, this is for women, not for children.
The women in the book are interesting as well. They're interesting characters because
I like them.
They're really fun. Like one of my favourite is Fern, and I won't say too much about her because I don't want to give it away. But you've got different women with distinct personalities, and did you find that easy to write about, or what was going through your mind when you had
Yeah, I mean, they're both based on a real person, each one. But of course, with fiction, you kind of have to make sure you have each one with a distinctive voice and personality. You kind of have to exaggerate, whilst remembering to keep them, to try and make them rounded. So, you've got Fern, who's a bit of a punk, but who has a soft centre. She looks after Pierre, even though he annoys her. When he needs it, and Lulu, she's the angelic character, but she well, there's one or two surprises with her as well. But I suppose Fern is the most developed of the characters.
Lulu is a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
Book. It was really interesting reading about her because I've met many Lulus in my lifetime, and I think Bish, I think you have as well, and
Yes.
You have that same angst that Pierre has, which is like I'm kind of fed up of this sort of Jehovah's Witness lifestyle, yet there's someone in it who's deep in it, who's following all the rules, and you
really like them.
Yeah, you really like them, and so you're torn, and you're in that sort of in between kind of, do I stay
Yes.
for her? Do I go out?
That's it. I mean, he's obsessed with both of them at the same time, and they kind of represent the dichotomy he's feeling.
Yeah.
He's happy that he's left what was for him a nightmare in the end, this religion, this sect, this mind control entity, but at the same time, he's missing his friends, his family, and sometimes he even wonders whether, God really does exist after all, and whether God really does care what he does. But so they represent that, this being torn in two ways. But yeah, there are lots of Lulus. I knew lots of them. You've got two types really. You've got those who really believe it, like Lulu. Then you've got those like Jess. She's another character in the book. She kind of is perhaps doing it for the social side of things more than anything.
Oh, believe me, I've met many of them as well.
I think a lot of people have. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that.
Yeah.
Type. JW, the social.
Yeah, that's it. Because it is. You do have a wide network, don't you? When you're a witness, you have a wide network of support. There's always someone, whatever problem you may have, from a flat tire in your car to an emotional problem, you've got someone you can turn to usually.
Mm-hmm.
So Pierre finds himself on his own when he gets kicked out.
That's really interesting part of the book as well, when he gets disfellowshipped, and so that sense of community is just gone, and it's just taken away from him. Seeing what his life turns into is so interesting, and I think would be of great sort of reading to someone that is teetering on the edge or is looking to move away from it. Just from the fact that where he has everything, in the sense of he has a family and friends and community, to nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think the book can be interpreted two ways. I was thinking about this after we spoke the other day. You could read it as saying, this is what will happen to you if you leave this organisation. You'll end up with nobody. You'll have problems with vices. You'll be insecure, and you'll realise what you had, and you should have stayed with it. But you could also interpret it kind of the opposite. You could think, whilst you've lost all those good things, at least now you are being true to yourself, and at least now you found freedom, intellectual, moral freedom. and you can kind of live your life how you feel it's best to live your life, and not how you're told how to live your life.
There are parts in the book where some may feel that Pierre is criticising the Jehovah's Witness organisation. To those that say to you, Lee, this is an anti-Jehovah's Witness book, what do you say to them?
Well, I mean, I would say it's not anti anything. It's pro pro-choice, pro-progress. Progress in the sense that this is now the 21st century. Individuals should be able to, within reasonable bounds, be able to do what they like without being judged adversely. So it's okay. Pierre is disenfranchised with this sect, so clearly he would have some negative things to say about it, but he hasn't got an axe to grind. He's just thinking out loud about the pros and cons, and really what wins out in the end are all the good reasons that he left. He was kicked out, but he kind of engineers it that way, you know?
Yeah.
He's given a second chance, which he doesn't take. That happens early in the book, and so there's no. I don't know if I think he does feel sorry for himself, but he knows that he shouldn't, because he knew what was coming, and he doesn't want anyone else to feel sorry for him. He just wants to get on with his life, and make a new start, really.
Yeah. So Lee, can you tell me what is different about this book compared to any other JW book that's out there?
Well, as far as I know.
Sorry, not including any stuff that's been published by the JWs.
So are you talking about, let's clarify this, comparing it to The Crisis of Conscience, for example, that was written by...
Franz.
It's not
Raymond
Franz.
Raymond Franz.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as I know, this is the first of its kind, in that it's a novel, it's fiction.
Which is why everyone should buy it.
So it's necessarily, it's not a tract. It doesn't have an agenda. It's a piece of fiction, which at the end of the day it's for entertainment, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I think as far back as Ovid, I think it was Ovid who said something along the lines of, literature is to be enjoyed. It's for entertainment. So hopefully this book does that without offending too many people.
I loved it. I absolutely loved the book. I couldn't put it down.
Right.
It's raunchy in places as well, which I think
Yeah, it's definitely for adults.
Yes, but I don't think it's titillating. I don't think I avoided as much as I could saying who puts what where kind of thing.
It's not smut. No. What I really liked about it was Pierre is. It's like with many Jehovah's Witnesses or ex-Jehovah's Witnesses or ones that leave for the first time, especially as they're adults, because Pierre's not a young man. He's he is young, but he's not young sort of where he's got the rest of his life ahead of him. He's in his 30s, I think.
In his early 30s, yeah.
And he basically starts having teenage angst. Around about that time.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a bucket load of sexual frustration.
Years and years pent up.
Look at all of us trying to tiptoe around it, and then Lee just comes down and says,
He had a raging hard-on. Pretty much.
He just couldn't get no satisfaction.
To quote
Rolling
Mick Jagger.
And the thing is, to those that are listening, I can actually see Lee's face, and he did a bit of a Mick there.
I don't actually like the Rolling Stones much. I thought I'd give them another chance. I bought one of their CDs, but I gave it to my dad in the end.
Oh, I'll tell you, you've offended one person here.
You've offended loads of people. No one likes
you. Yeah.
Who cares? We don't like anybody. They're listening to us because we're the best. How to lose an audience. Please buy this book.
Could you cut the Rolling Stones part out, please?
It would be seamless.
I love the Rolling Stones, and if every Rolling Stones fan bought my book, I'd be a happy man.
Can you say this word? Can you say Hitler?
Hitler.
Excellent. So I'm going to cut it to I love Hitler.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you also add haircut?
Tash. Where can we buy this book?
Good question.
The book is available on Amazon Kindle. So if you've got a Kindle device, fine, but you can download the app to any device. So there's no excuses.
There are no excuses.
And how? It's not even that expensive, is it? How much is it?
No, a couple of quid.
Excellent.
So you get a few nights with Fern for £2. Can't be bad.
Right.
So look out for this book, Lee Wainwright. Nice to have you on the show.
Nice to be here, guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Love you.
You too.